right?
Yes.
So you should all have on your paper here these questions answered, or work on them over lunch if you haven't. You have to have a financial goal, right? To know where you're going. If I'm going to leave tomorrow on a vacation, do I need to know where I'm going? Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know how much money it's going to cost. I don't know what to pack. I don't know what to set the address for in my maps. You have to know where you're going, friends. Okay? So thank you, Tiffy, for money management. That was phenomenal. And to be able to calculate, you guys should know your average sale per face. And that's how many faces you schedule. So then we have skills. I love that Randy broke this down to see the skills that you need. And I love that she helped us understand the difference between training and skills, because you can get trained and you can read, do everything that she says, read, but if you're not putting it to use, you're not building the skill, right? So get to work to get good at your skills. You have to get to work to get good at your skills. Identify where you need to grow and follow the people that are strong in those skills. I love that. And then time management is just so huge, everybody. And who would have ever thought you need to slot time in for bookending your day? I need to schedule in 15 minutes in the morning to get myself in the right headspace, and I need to schedule in 15 minutes at the end of the day. You need to schedule in an affirmation to talk kindly to yourself. Who would have ever thought that there's more distractions today than ever before? Ever before, because it's so easy to access those distractions. So I'm just so grateful for everything that these women shared. So thank you to all of you. So my topic is emotional management. This is my absolute favorite. My unit probably gets really tired of hearing me talk about emotional management, but I promise you, it's from a place of love. So all of this that we've learned so far this morning is great. Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Okay, are you so excited? So excited, okay. But you have to manage your brain. I promise you, none of what you learned is going to help if you don't manage the emotions. That has to be your base. Okay, it has to be your base. So, I want to promise you that you can get really excited about the goal you have. We went to seminar. Ooh, right? Was it amazing? Thank you, Mary Kay, for pulling that off for us. Do you think that those women on stage had everything go perfectly for them each day over the last seminar year? Right? Nobody's dog ran away. Nobody's cat died. Nobody's mother-in-law fell out the window. Everybody had life going on, I promise you. But what's the difference? They worked through it. Figuratively and literally. They worked through it. Write that down. Work through it. I promise you, you'll get excited with a goal that's planted on your heart. You'll get excited when the finish line is in sight, right? But there's the middle. We're going to talk about the middle. And I'm sorry, but we have to talk about the middle. We have to deal with the middle. Because the middle is messy, it's muddy, it's mucky, and sometimes even miserable. And those women on stage didn't have an easy middle. They just worked through the middle. They worked through it mentally, emotionally, and literally, physically working their business no matter what was happening in the middle. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Are you excited?
So excited.
Okay, I promise. They had catastrophe, death, divorce, job losses, moving. They had all of those things happen, but they worked through it. They worked through it, okay? So say, I'm going to work through it.
I'm going to work through it.
All right. Can we agree that when you have a goal that's placed on your heart, you can get so excited?
Yes.
Right? Okay, so you were inspired by somebody today, or you were inspired by somebody at seminar, you were inspired by $1 Million Message, because I know you're all calling it every single day. You are inspired, and you're excited about it. So could that then mean emotion is what sparks something new? Emotion is sparking the dream. Can we all agree?
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Something inspired you to have that dream. And it happened through the lens of emotion, feelings. Okay? Now, who has finished a huge goal? I don't care if it was graduating, buying your first house, a Mary Kay goal. Think back to how it felt when you were this far from the finish line. Was it exciting?
Yeah.
It was exciting. Like, it was in sight. Right? Yeah, that's exciting. And once again, emotion is driving you. Emotion is driving you when the finish line is in sight. So National Sales Director Heidi Gelzer had her son-in-law, Paul, who is married to her daughter, Karis, who is one of her offspring directors, speak on an event on Zoom. And she had him speak because he had just come back from, I think, Africa, after having run a 100-mile race. Can we all say ooh? Okay. He had run a 100-mile race, but can you see why she would have him speak? Something inspired him to have that dream. And there was that messy, muddy, mucky, miserable middle until he got to the finish line. When he was at the start line, could he see the finish line? No. Could he see 50 miles out? No. Could he see a mile out? Probably not even a mile. But he kept going. And she was making, as he was talking about the experience, the change in the time zones, the change in the weather and the temperature, and what inspired him to go run a 100-mile race. Like, why? Why? And how did he get through the middle? How did he get through the middle? And he said, I literally focused on one step at a time. One step at a time. For 100 miles? Oh, I can't. That sounds awful to me. And she asked him, why did you do that? He said, because I could. Does it need to be anything more complicated than that? And he said, God gave me the ability to run, and it honors him to max out on that. So I did it because I could. Was it fun? No, the start was fun. The finish was even more fun than the start. But what about the 99 miles in between? I would say it was messy, muddy, mucky, and probably miserable. Right? One step at a time. Think about going into labor. So exciting. When the baby's out, it's really exciting. But the middle? Yes, and somebody just do this for me? I don't think it's going to work that way. Nobody's just going to do this for me. I got to do it, okay? So we need to talk about the beginning is based on emotion. The end comes from emotion. The middle comes from decision and discipline. The middle is going to get messy, I promise you. But if you are disciplined and you've made the decision, at the moment you were inspired through emotion, then that decision is going to push you through all the mess in the middle. So we need to talk about how we're going to do that. And I want to think about some of the things, especially that Becky talked about, okay? If you know your standards, let's talk about what a Mary Kay standard is. What is the bare bones minimum you are going to do every single month in your Mary Kay business? It does not matter how many jobs you have, how many husbands you have, how many mothers-in-law are running around the house, how many dogs are sick. None of that matters. This will happen. You will do these standards, these minimums, okay? Maybe your minimum is hit that 600 wholesale every single month. That I'm going to make sure, bare bones minimum. Maybe it's A1, 225 every single month. Maybe it's add somebody to your team, no matter what, every single month. You have that bare bones minimum, that standard that you are going to stick to no matter what's happening in the messy middle. Okay? How do we do that? Are you a good boss for yourself? I want you to know, if you go into your job, right, not Mary Kay job, another job, somebody has given you assignments to do. And you know what you're supposed to accomplish while you're there. That would be your boss, right? They tell you what to do, even when to do it. Are you telling yourself what you need to do, when to do it? As your own boss, are you a good boss? As the employee, if you're not doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, are you probably going to lose your job? You might not have a job at all, therefore you have no money. It's no different in Mary Kay. You have to tell yourself what you're going to do, and no matter what that messy middle looks like, that's what will happen at the end of the day, the week, the month, the year. Okay? Because that is where discipline and decision kick in. Nothing with emotion. So I remember when National Sales Director Kristen Sharp, she was on stage as the #1 director in 2014 at Diamond Seminar. Okay? She also was debuting as a brand new national. Was anybody at that? Anybody at Diamond was at that? It wasn't? Was it leadership that she did this? Could be. I mean, I know it has gone around. It was so powerful and so moving. And she said, if I would have worked my business from emotion and not discipline, my check from Mary Kay for the year would not have been $239,000. If I would have worked from emotion and not discipline, my income for 2013-14 would not have been $239,000. She had stuff happen in life in her messy middle, but she worked through it. Say, work through it.
Work through it.
Okay. So, if Kristen can do it, you can do it. You have a blank paycheck. You're going to write pay to the order of, and you're going to write your name. And then, dollars, you're going to write $239,000. You know how to write it? Have you ever written $239,000 on paper? That's a lot of zeros. But you're going to write it. Write it. Do it now. Fill out your paycheck. She was 8 years in business when she stood on stage and said that. 8 years.
Did she get married that same year?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think you're right. I know she was completely self-sustained with her Mary Kay income. So, you have the ability to write your own paycheck in Mary Kay. Is this going to happen this year? No. Next year? No. Could it happen 8 years from now? Yeah, we know somebody's done it. If you work from discipline and not emotion. Okay? You have the 6 most important things list. That is your standard, your bare bones minimum that you will get done the next day. You made the list before you went to bed, and you're going to execute on it. As the boss, you made the list before you went to bed. As the employee, you execute on it the next day. 6 most important things list. Maybe you're going to run with 5 by Friday. I'm going to make sure every single Friday by 5 p.m. I have 5 new bookings. That's one a day, or you could do them all in one day, however you want to do it. Work on the front end of your goal, by the way. We were talking about this beforehand. If you need to get this, and this done by the end of the week on Friday, don't wait till Thursday. That could be when the dog runs away or the mother-in-law falls out the window. You can't wait for Thursday. You have to start it on Saturday or Sunday. Right? Work on the front end of your time frame. That is emotional management. Work on the front end of it. I get so fired up about this, okay? Because we're so excited.
So excited.
Okay, we're so excited. And you guys, it's not when things are easy that you become emotionally intelligent. Your emotional IQ grows through hardship. You become your best you on how you work through your hardships. And I was talking to my aunt. I was texting her complaining about some stuff. And she was telling me some things going on with her and my uncle with their health. He tore his meniscus, she tore her meniscus, he had some sort of kidney thing, and I mean the list was going on and on and on. And she said, well, we do a Bible, we study one verse a week, and everything that we do revolves around that Bible verse for the week. So she sent me the scripture and said, be thankful in all things, for this is what I have willed for you. Okay, I think it's from Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians, I think 15:8, I'm not positive. But, so she said, we just decided every time something goes wrong, we're just going to say, thank you, Jesus. Next thing something goes wrong, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. She said, I got to the point where every time I heard your Uncle Bob say, thank you, Jesus, I go, now what? Now what? What's happened now? It's okay. You have to anticipate. You have to predict the unpredictable. It's going to happen. Stuff's going to happen in the messy middle. But if you are working from discipline and not emotion, you can still get to the finish line and experience the emotional high that you get at that finish line, okay? And when you have a finish line that is so big, if you have not read Stephen Furtick's Sun Stand Still, you must read it. Like yesterday, read the book, okay? Sun Stand Still. And when you accomplish a massive goal that seems so big and audacious that it's impossible, okay, no dream is too big for God, first of all. I mean, look what he did, okay? Nothing is too big for him. But when you accomplish that, can you agree that it boosts your confidence?
Yes.
I can do anything now. I did that. I did that. I can do anything now. So just for the sake of your confidence, not the reward itself, not the money itself, for the sake of your confidence, set a huge audacious goal so that you can prove to yourself you can do it. And work in the messy middle from discipline. Work from decision. Don't let emotion. You guys, I remember I coached this party perfectly. I show up on this lady's front porch. I drag my bag out. I'm going up the front steps. It was this narrow stoop. My bag's falling off the side. My heels, I'm a mess. It's hot out. I'm wearing my beauty coat. I get up there and I knock on that door and nobody answers. I call it being porched. I was porched, and I heard children inside, and I saw the little bird move and somebody peek out. But you know what? It's okay. I can predict things are going to happen like that aren't necessarily in my favor. What did I do during that time? I climbed in that free Equinox of mine. I said, I did this. I can get through this. And I went home, and I spent that 2 hours making booking calls. I didn't scroll. I didn't watch TV. I didn't change out of my beauty coat, put my pajamas on, and climb into bed. I needed to not suck my thumb and pout, right? I needed to do something about it. So this is what I want to tell you. When you are in a time of discouragement, fear, there is one cure for it, and it's action. One way to cure fear, procrastination, discouragement, whatever it is you're dealing with, there is one thing that is the cure, and it's action. All your parties are selling low. All your parties are canceling. I've had so many cancellations in the month of August. So do I stop trying to get bookings? That's not going to help me feel better, is it? No, because now what's happening is I'm proving to myself this doesn't work. Right? So I need to get into action when things aren't going the way I want, when I'm feeling discouraged, or I'm sabotaging myself. Action is the only cure. Always, no matter what it is that you're dealing with in your brain and in your heart. Action is the cure, okay? So, action is the cure if you're not feeling adequate with your skills. How do you get better at your skills? What did Randy say? Do them. Learn about them, do them. How do you get confident in your skills? Action, right? Okay, so, have you been forged? It's really fun. Okay, so let me just tell you, I was listening to, I rewatched Kristen's speech as I was preparing for today. And she said she made $239,000 that year. She also said she did 230 Mary Kay parties. I thought, that's the same number. personal unit. 230 parties. That's like 4 a week. 3 to 4 a week, okay? So, there's a correlation between doing parties, making money, would you agree? Okay, right? And she had the middle get messy sometimes. She just worked through it. Say work through it. Okay. 6 most important things list is crucial for your discipline. Do not go to bed without your 6 list for the next day, please. Don't go to bed without your 6 list. Because if you're having a bad emotional day, maybe you choose to start your day by scrolling instead of a good bookend with positive affirmation, self-talk, envisioning your day and spending time in the Word, right? So you're having a bad day, you know you have to accomplish this 6 list. If you were at another job and they gave you 6 things you needed to get done, would they look favorably upon you if you didn't finish those 6 before you left? No. Don't do that to yourself as your boss or as your employee, okay? So you have what's called go for no. This could be something to focus on to get out of your own head, okay? No is a one-word answer. Some people really have a tough time. This was on one of Randy's things. You struggle with rejection and no, okay? Some people have a tough time accepting the fact they're going to hear the word no. They get discouraged and they feel rejected, but because they think the word no is a negative, when in actuality, nothing changes when you hear the word no. Nothing changes. You're still a consultant. It's still your neighbor. It's still your coworker. It's still the mother-in-law. If they said no, nothing changed. The only time something changes is if you get a yes. So why do we fear no? Is that not so practical? It's ridiculous. Okay, give yourself a time frame and get to 100 no's. Yes is the destination, no is how you get there. It is 100% impossible to get to your next Mary Kay goal with no no's. I can guarantee you that. And I can also guarantee you if you had every sales director in this room, Jenny and Karen and Randy and Mandy and Stephanie, and we all stand up and we say, how many no's have you had? I have no idea. Because it doesn't really matter. But I'm guessing collectively, the sales directors in this room have had more no's than consultants collectively. We had to have them to get to where we wanted to go. You've been fortunate. She's been forced. Oh gosh. Right?
Diane, I think that should be next year's t-shirt.
Yeah. Front porch. Right?
Keep that in mind.
Okay, so how do you need to mess with your mind to get through the messy middle? I need to mess with my mind to get through the messy middle. Write that down. I need to mess with my mind to get through the messy middle. Are you going for no? Are you 100% focused on the 6 most important things list? Is it 5 by Friday? Is it 3-3-3? Who works Mary Kay's magic formula 3-3-3? Nobody? 3 parties a week, 300 in sales per party, share the business with 3 women. Week in, week out, week over. That's a magic formula. She knew what she was talking about.
Yes.
I need to mess with my mind to get
Through the
messy
messy
middle.
middle.
through the messy middle.
Mhm. Trick yourself. You are so focused on that 6 list. You are so focused on that 5 by Friday. You are so focused on getting to 100 no's. You are so focused on $239,000 in 8 years. Okay, you have SWOT analysis. This is huge. Huge, ladies, this is huge. I cannot tell you enough how important this is to know these answers for yourself, okay? So, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. That's what SWOT stands for. Across the top, you have your left side, this is the left side. Internal, external. Internal, these are personal traits that you have. Some of them are going to be helpful, and some can be harmful. You're going to fill this in right now. What are some personal traits that would be helpful to your objective, harmful to your objective? Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Something that could be helpful. Maybe you are a super magnetic personality. Write down, I'm magnetic. Maybe you're a procrastinator. That would go in harmful category. You all have traits, internal, that could be helpful or harmful to your objective, to your goal. Okay, does everybody understand how to figure those out? Okay, now there's external. There's helpful and harmful. Maybe a helpful one would be you go to a day job and you work with 40 women. That's an external factor that could be helpful to your business. Harmful, maybe you don't speak the native language. Maybe you don't drive. Maybe your spouse isn't supportive of your business. Maybe nobody in your family is supportive of your business. External factors that could be helpful or harmful. So what happens is we can predict through SWOT some of what our messy middle could look like. I know I tend to get into my own head and then it spirals downward fast, like real fast. So what do I have that's helpful, internal or external, that I'm going to lead into when I find myself going down a harmful internal path? Okay, I know that about myself. So who or what do I lean into? I know when it happens. It's when I'm in bed in the morning. So I know that if I don't allow myself to lay in bed for too long in the morning and I get up, that is going to be my first step, defeating that harmful internal trait that I have. Everybody get that? My next one is I call my husband. Okay, he's gonna get in my head in the opposite way. I call one of my kids. I call Becky.
She's ready for me to lose her phone number. It's okay.
So you have to know the internal and external, helpful and harmful things that you have. And work with the helpfuls to combat the harmfuls. Does everybody get this? You need to work on this right now. Because you're going to walk out this door excited about a goal, and the minute you hit that door at home, there's going to be the messy middle starting right now. Right now. And you have to know the positives that you need to lean into. Maybe you are a self-motivator, and that is going to be something that's going to help you, because maybe some external harmful things would be a lot of kids but very little space. There's nowhere in your home to work your business. Okay, well, you're a self-motivator, so you're going to figure that out. Okay, I can figure this out. I can figure this out. I'm a self-motivator. I can figure this out. I solve problems really easily. That's one of my personal strengths, right? So this is the problem, and I'm good at solving problems. I'm going to give myself a deadline. This is going to be solved by the end of the day. Because nothing else that I want to do in my business or need to do in my business is going to be able to happen until this is fixed. So you have to know your SWOT. I encourage you to do this quarterly, because things will change. Hopefully, internal harmful traits you can work on so they become helpful. Work with all men. Could that be an external harmful thing? Possibly. So what do? You start researching. You start asking around. Like Randy said, talk to other people. You work with just men. Okay, wait a minute. They have women in their lives they need to buy gifts for. We have a new men's skincare line. What did you say, 22 new products? We have a new men's skincare line. There's holidays around the corner. Men don't want to mess with that. They know their budget. Give me the budget. I'll make her happy. I promise. So you have to know the harmfuls and the helpfuls. And you're going to use those helpfuls to combat the harmfuls. Everybody got that? How important this is. How important it is to have 1, 2, or 5 things that you are focusing on, no matter where your brain is in the messy middle, no matter where your heart is in the messy middle. This is a bare bones minimum that you're going to do. Bare bones minimum. Could be your 6 list. It could be this. It could be 5 by Friday. You guys, you can get good at your skills. You can get good at money. You can get good at time. But none of that is going to matter if you do not have control over your brain. It's just not. There isn't one person in this room that has not fallen prey to negative self-talk, not one. That's a tough reality. Yes.
One of my best friends told me that something that she says to her daughter every time she overhears bad negative self-talk is, you would never say that to your best friend, and you are supposed to be your best friend.
Yep. You would never, what you say to yourself, you would never speak it to somebody you love. Becky touched on that. So we have to step out of our comfort zone. Your comfort zone is the most dangerous place to be. Again, because that's not where your emotional IQ increases. It's just not. So you need to know your SWOT, and you have to know your analysis. Because this is what you're going to rely on. If you know that you know that you know that negative self-talk and discouragement is a harmful internal trait that you have, what can you do to change that? You have to make that decision now and come up with that plan now. If there's a negative statement you say to yourself, what is your affirmation? Have you ever heard where you go to, I want to change this wall in my living room and there's 5 nails in it. So I want those 5 pictures taken down, I'm going to put something else up. So I'm going to pull those 5 nails out, put the pictures down, pull the 5 nails out. Now I have 5 holes. So if I'm removing negative self-talk, I still have to plug the holes in with something else. You have to have a substitute statement you say to yourself. Have it planned, have it ready. Record it on your phone and play it. The minute you are starting that self-sabotage, you gotta play that recording. That could be your affirmation. This is so important. To me, this is so important. And this is something you can apply to every area of your life. Every area of your life. The hard truth is that, first of all, work this while you can. Because I can tell you, it will work for you when you can't. Okay? Worked it while I could, so that when my child had cancer at age 5, this business paid those bills. I held no parties, I held no appointments, reorder business. You guys, you sell something that people would wash down the drain every day, twice a day. Why are you not getting it in the hands of every woman that you see and know? Residual income is huge. It's huge, huge. Crashed my car. That's been 3.5 years ago. I still have surgeries coming up. I worked it while I could so that it works for me while I can't. You all run with it and take advantage of that. You can't get that at any other job. You can't just say, I'm not going to show up for 2 years, and I still need to be paid, please. And can you pay my medical bills during the time also? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So, emotional management. You guys, you can pretty much answer 13, 14, 15, 16 with your SWOT, I promise you. You have to, and who is your power partner in life or in your business? Is it another consultant? I know I've got 2 sitting over there. They're power partners. They need to know your SWOT. You need to know it, they need to know it. So that when you're calling and you're discouraged and you're texting, they're gonna say, okay, but you have this external helpful thing going on in your life, and you need to lean into that. Or you have this internal helpful strength, you need to lean into that. And you said the 5 people that you spend the most time with, are they the people that are gonna add to the harmful stuff? Or are they gonna lead you towards your helpful stuff? Are you guys hungry? I hope this was helpful. Yes.